Well, welcome everyone to this Wednesday, the 20th of March. And as Ellen was just explaining to us, it's the astrological new year. And it's actually also the equinox today. So sometimes the equinox can fall on different days, 20th, 21st, somewhere around there. But for this year, it's actually today. It's also called the vernal equinox, and this marks the sun's crossing above the Earth's equator. So moving from south, where we've had a lot of sun through our summer, to north. And so for us, it marks the beginning of autumn, the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. For the Northern Hemisphere, it marks the beginning of spring. And today, night and day are probably as close to the same and equal in length. That's what the word equinox means, equal nox is night. So, and the sun today rose exactly in the east and will set exactly in the west, no matter where you are in the world, but it's just part of what happens on the equinox. So it is a time of transition, and it's a time of change and a time of different energies, and just to really be aware of that and how it shows up in our own lives. And at the moment, there is a lot going on for everyone. It's been intense for people, and it's so easy for us to fall into victimhood or anxiety or constant worry. And there's just been a lovely video that Pam Gregory released on the 10 steps to raise your frequency. And she's got really some very practical tools and well worth watching. I'll send a link to it when I post it into our group and below this video as well. And one of the things that she reminds us, I mean, it's all reminders, it's all stuff that we know, it's stuff we've talked about here before, it's things we've explored in our own lives, but that we want to change things on the inside before they'll change on the outside. And so often we wait the other way around. We wait for other things on the outside to change before we feel okay, before we feel happy, before things are okay. And she said it's a little bit like looking in the mirror and seeing a grumpy face looking back at us. We can't change the mirror or the face in the mirror. We have to change what's going on here before we see it differently there. So I thought that was another lovely analogy. And we can do this by dropping into our heart space. And this is what we practice so often in our mindful moments, and what we want to make second nature and accessible to us during our day, so that when things feel like they are spiraling out of control, or we're slipping into victimhood or negativity or fear or worry, that we can return to our breath, that we can return to our heart space, that we can tap into the things that we are grateful for and create this feeling of gratitude and love and joy and connection as if it's already here, as if the things that we are wanting and desiring are already here. So we're going to practice that this morning again, and know that it is accessible to us. And sometimes it feels hard to do it in those times when we're feeling unbalanced, ungrounded, when we're feeling in our victim space. But it just really encouraging you. Other things that we can do to help to shift this is just walking barefoot on the grass, or being in nature, listening to music, singing, hugging a pet, hugging a loved one. Those are things that we can also help to shift what's going on here, to help us to reflect differently externally. And our poem today just encapsulates it so beautifully, by Julia Fehrenbacher. So I thought I'd read that to start, and then we'll go into our meditation. So welcome everyone here, and I just encourage you just to ground your feet on the earth. If you're sitting in a chair, just to uncross your legs, feel your feet on the earth, perhaps even take your shoes off if you can. Sitting upright in your chair, and if you are driving or you find yourself somewhere else, just becoming conscious of what your feet are touching, how you're sitting in your chair, relaxing into your shoulder, creating a little bit of spaciousness. And either closing your eyes or just dropping your gaze and letting these words land. Go gently today. Don't hurry or think about the next thing. Walk with the quiet trees. Can you believe how brave they are? How kind. Model your life after theirs. Blow kisses at yourself in the mirror, especially when you think you've messed up. Forgive yourself for not meeting your unreasonable expectations. You are human, not God. Don't be so arrogant. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. Close your eyes. Breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. And so just following this invitation and following this next breath through your nostrils to the back of your throat into your heart space. And then following it as it lets go and releases. And the next breath begins. And with each breath, inviting an expansion in your body, an opening, starting from your lungs, your heart space, and your chest. Expanding into the rest of your body. Just following each breath, and with each breath inviting a gentle softening and a gentle opening. Letting go of holding tight, of controlling, of just allowing an expansion and a softening. Following the softening as it moves from your heart space through your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, and hands. Moving to your fingertips. Feeling into the softening of your hands. And gentle opening to receive. And then returning to your heart space and following this softening and expansion down into your abdomen, pelvic bowl, upper thighs, knees, lower legs, to the feet, right to the tips of the toes. Holding these in awareness, and inviting a gentle softening and opening, letting go. And then returning to your heart space and moving up into your shoulders, neck, head, face, even to the tips of your eyelashes. And then dropping back into your heart space and inviting a feeling of gratitude, perhaps for something that you received this morning or yesterday, perhaps a beautiful morning, cup of tea, perhaps a hug, connection with someone, anything that fills your heart with gratitude, that you can tap into that feeling of gratitude in your heart space. Just tapping into that feeling and allowing it to expand in your body, in your chest. You may want to anchor it by resting your hands on your heart space. When your thoughts start to wander, just bringing them back to this feeling of gratitude in your heart space. Noticing if there's a color or a light, the texture of this gratitude and expansion. Keep coming back to it and then allowing it to overflow and expand. Softening your face, allowing a gentle smile on your lips, softening of your eyes, letting go of feelings of worry and stress, and just being in this space of expansiveness. And if thoughts start to wander or worries start to creep in, just gently letting them go, like one would let go of a little balloon, and just returning to your heart space. Becoming aware that we can take this feeling of gratitude, this expanded space, into any interaction that we have today. Setting the intention that as we move through the day, that we will access this and bring this softening and expansion and gratitude to our work, to our connections, to our interactions. Go gently today. Don't hurry or think about the next thing. Walk with the quiet trees. Can you believe how brave they are? How kind? Model your life after theirs. Blow kisses at yourself in the mirror, especially when you think you've messed up. Forgive yourself for not meeting your unreasonable expectations. You're human, not God. Don't be so arrogant. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. Just taking a few more breaths, deep breaths. Anchoring this feeling and the intention of bringing it forward with us into our day. Offering gratitude to yourself for showing up now for yourself and for this reset. And then when you're ready, taking a deep breath in and breathing out. Gently moving into your fingers, toes, stretching your hands, rolling your shoulders. Just gently moving, coming back to the room and the space that you find yourself in. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes, taking in the colors and light of the room around you, tapping into that feeling of gratitude for all that surrounds you. I wish you a blessed equinox today as we step into a time of slowing down and turning inwards in our Earth in the Southern Hemisphere. And if you have a chance to unmute or to share anything, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for anything in the chat. Wanting to keep our sessions quite short to make it more accessible for people to be able to join, and then to be able to listen to recordings, and also to know that these practices, although it is wonderful to have extended meditations, are also easily accessible to us. Thanks, Gloria. Thanks, Mandy.
Thanks, Nikki.
Next
Easy for the week to run away with you from a Monday. So the midweek Wednesday is just delightful. Really a moment to just ground oneself and hear some inspirational words, and you. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And that actually just reminds me, unfortunately, that for the next couple of weeks, I'm away until I think just after the 14th of April. So I will communicate on my group if I'm able to do a mindful moment before then, but otherwise I think we're going to have a bit of a pause for the next 3 weeks over Easter, and then we'll touch base and I'll let you know when we're back again. So thank you. And please, I encourage you to listen to one of these meditations to keep going with the Wednesday mornings. Let's not fill them with something else, because I'd love to have you all back here.
It was amazing for me when I touched my heart, when you actually said, ground yourself and touch your heart. Actually, that feeling actually did go all over my body. That just feeling of calmness and openness. It was lovely. It was quite amazing for me how much of a difference it actually did make when you put your hands on your heart.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Gail. That's lovely to hear, because I always find it makes a big difference for me. So it's lovely to hear.
Nikki, you're just quite sweet. At that same point as well, I was actually sitting on the stoep, and it's a beautiful morning, a bit overcast, but it's a beautiful sunrise. And you taught me, I didn't know that the sun set directly in the eastern. I mean, rose in the east and set in the west, set in the moon. But while that was happening, your dad came out onto the front lawn here, and the dogs saw him, and they both ran to him, and he had to stop what everything was doing. And then Pearl saw him, the cat, and she went running, and he spent all that minute or so just patting all of the animals, and they were all just so happy to see John. So I was sitting here with a smile on my lips and a crinkle in my eye, even before you reminded us to do it. It was just so pretty.
For those who don't know, so Richard and Ellen, my aunt and uncle, live next door to my parents, and they share a lawn. It's sort of a complex, townhouse complex. So they're very close neighbors. So that's why my dad was there on the lawn. So that
was in my front garden.
Yeah, in Ellen's front garden.
So, thanks, Nick. It was lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone, and sending love, and lovely to see those who are here in person, and those who are listening later. I hope this is soul food for you. I'm going to stop recording, and then we can actually, then we'll, anyone can stay on and chat on. Where is the stop recording? There we go.